Number 28, Dave Cunningham. What an interesting player, Pom. He's this time last year we're talking about how much of a tease he is, and shows the flashes. He's had soft tissue issues throughout his career. Hasn't really seemed to be able to just put the package together. And then it looked like he was really starting to put the package together in 2021, kicking goals, just being more of a player that wasn't sporadic or a burst player as what we have on our list, which we seem to have, 11 of them on the list who just, come and go and have a quarter and a half of no impact. And, I'm just not sure what to expect from him this year. He's coming off the ACL, so we won't see him playing until sometime midway through the season. Then there's the other notion of, well, we've added Chera, we've added Hewitt, so is Cunners going to be a midfielder, or is he just going to continue to be this half-forward type player? And I guess I just don't know. It's a really hard one for me to judge. What about you?
I would say that was probably one of the more devastating injuries Carlton have had, because he really started to string some games together. And I was getting really excited. About 3 or 4 games in, I was getting excited thinking, this is it. He's fine. And he's got something. And his output was good. He was willing to get dirty. And that was probably one of his criticisms. He was a bit of a show pony, but he really did show that he was willing to muck in as well. And he was really adding them layers that you do for a player that really gets a lot of build-up, doesn't he, Connors? He gets a lot of build-up, a lot of hype. I love him. I love him in that half-forward role. I think he's another person who maybe, if Voss decides to go with a half-forward who floats through the wing, and we go like a lot of other teams do and just massively rotate it to hide your engine, Connors has probably got his hand up for that role with Fisher and says, well, you know what, we can slot across half-forward, 10 minutes each in the wing, give it a spurt. I'm a big fan. I think he's got great foot skills. He's got a great eye for goal. He's canny as well. And I really I love Connors. I was a hater, and then I fell in love. And I do love a bit of me Cunningham.
One other thing about him, which I do understand why we put him forward of centre, is he's got finishing skills. He can dob them on the run from angles. He's a beautiful kick at the footy. He's just got, he's got that. He makes the imagination run wild. I think Josh Honey's got it. I think Jack Martin's got the attribute as well. I think Cunningham absolutely has the attribute where you see him do 3 or 4 things in 3 or 4 passages of play, and you think to yourself, wow, if he could do that 24 times a game, he could genuinely be an A-grader. And I think that is probably where I don't know if you call it frustration, but that want for more comes from, because he can do things that not many people can.
Spawn, I mean, he reminds me of if Sam Walsh is Cristiano Ronaldo of this football club, this young superstar. He's Nani, where he's got all the tricks. He can do what Ronaldo does. The problem is it's just not as consistent and it doesn't come out. But he can probably excite you a bit more on his day than Ronaldo can. And I agree with you. I think he's got all the tricks. That Hawthorn game a few years ago in Tassie, so that goal he kicked, some of the things, he's got a not normal brain in the terms of the way he thinks. He thinks outside the square. He's willing to try things. You see it a few times as well, which is probably where some of the question marks come in. He's got a simple kick and he likes to do a spinny one on the outside of the boot. He's got that creative X factor, and I like him. I think the one thing our club lacks is X factor in the right places. And I think if I'm Cunners, I'm looking at Jack Martin and going, why are you there? That's my job. I can do it better than you. And I think you're probably going to see probably a shootout between them when they come back. And I think that's Cunners' role. I like it. I think he's got something that I like, and I think he's added them strings that I needed. Last year, you saw he's willing to get hands dirty, to run back and chase people down. He's starting to bring that to him with maturity. Definitely for me on his day, best 22.
Definitely have seen a change in his body as well in this preseason. again, I'm saying this about quite a few of them. The upper body is starting to really show with a lot of these guys. And Cunningham is a guy who I'm confident in saying this, in that he's going to be valuable to our group and our season in 2022, because we know we're getting him a little later from the starting line. We're going to get him back, I don't know, but I'm guessing, let's just say around the bye. So round 11, round 12. That'll take it to 12 months from when he did the initial knee injury. And he's a guy that I know when he comes back in the side, we're going to watch him play and we're going to say, wow, where's he been? We're going to miss him. And especially in that middle part of the year, that is traditionally where we just fall apart, because in years gone by, the confidence has been well and truly shot by then, and we're kind of just hanging on. And I think he's going to provide a spark at the right time of the year.
I think there's four players on the list that I think when they get the ball and you look at the passage of play and you're like, you've got nowhere to go here, get rid of it. And then they take off. There's four players on the list that you believe they can get out of the trouble. I think one's Walsh. Yep. I think one's Sard. I think another one's Charlie. And I think the fourth is Cunners, a guy that you're not really worried when he takes the game on, because you're like, you've got something in your head that it's almost like time stands still, and he's gone matrix and he's analysing and going, if I run at 12 kilometres at this angle, I will break through. And I think you need them players. And for me, Cunningham, like you say, what a wonderful thing if we're something like, dare to dream, Pommy, 8-4 at the bye, 8-4 at the bye, and it's opening up, and you're thinking, you know what, we're a shot here. Imagine a bit of Cunners coming in. Bit of injection. You're going to get
sprinkle him into the mix.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's Nigella Lawson, isn't he? He's baking a cake like Gordon Ramsay does, but he adds the sex to it, and you watch it, and you want a Nigella bit of cake. He's Nigella Lawson of this football club. We've got a lot of players who do it, but he just makes it a little bit better, doesn't he? I'm a big fan of Cunners. I can't rave about him enough without him getting a restraining order on me.
All right, you guys at home, what is the David Cunningham situation as it plays out in your head? How do you judge what he's going to do this year, and what do you need to see from him this year to say that he's still in the best 22 and part of the the serious group moving forward? Let us know in the comments below.